Hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 2 in the series between San and Azubu's San versus Lan here on Whirlwind. Game 2 taking place with opposite spawns here. Top right hand side of the map, San, the red Protoss. Meanwhile, on the bottom left, we can see that Lan or Ian, can't quite tell if that's an I or an L. Keep on meaning to ask. Anyways, we'll see what's going to be going down in this particular matchup and this particular game here on Whirlwind, where Whirlwind is a very, very large map. Now, the type of play and the types of strategies that we'll see is most likely going to be very similar to any large macro map. Whirlwind, one of the largest maps with 4 possible spawning locations, does allow for a bit more interesting play just because you don't know where your opponent is straight off the bat in the game. You don't know what corner of the map, you just know he hasn't spawned directly on top of you. On the bottom left here, we're most likely going to see a hatchery first opening coming in from the blue Zerg player. Meanwhile, over here on the top right, I am curious if San wants to go for a Nexus first. Normally, a Nexus first is a very, very greedy build, but in this particular instance, because of the long walking distances between the two bases, it really isn't that greedy. Instead, we are going to be seeing a forge placed down over here on Whirlwind, as the probe now also making another move across the map. This is a very, very strong sign that San wants to try and make something happen, perhaps with a probe and photon cannons. Probe going to be coming up the ramp. It will be able to take a look around here, and you can see these tight corridors are absolutely perfect for photon cannons. Is the probe going to be doing exactly that? It does look like it. Going to be placing down the pylon. Drones already making their way over, and there you have it. There is triple pylons already coming in. So far, triple pylons coming in. This is just absolute bad news already. This one particular pylon will get surrounded. It is suffering a lot of damage so far, as we should be seeing a photon cannon now warped in right there. There's a cancellation there as the drones now coming off to engage, and there we are going to see a double team attack on the probes, as 2 probes now are going to be able to slip through. 1 photon cannon, 2 photon cannons. This one particular pylon getting very low on hit points, but it doesn't matter. Pylon power is still available here readily. As you can see, 1 pylon will get taken down in just a moment. Will it force a cancellation on that hatchery? That is the all-important question there, as this hatchery most likely will just get canceled. No, it does not get canceled, and now double photon cannons dealing a lot of damage to this hatchery. I'm not exactly sure why Lan did not, in fact, cancel the hatchery here. You can see a photon cannon and another pylon being added. This will be absolutely impossible to take down now. And also cancellation of the photon cannon and pylon once more. And what was Lan really thinking? I'm not 100% sure. Zerglings are going to be making their way out and perhaps be able to take down a couple of those probes, but we already see a bit of an economic difference between the two players. 22 probes versus 18 drones, and all of this with only 1 hatchery in play. It is going to affect Lan and any of his particular strategies. Now, in the past, we have seen the Zerg player then try to go into 1 base play with a Nidus network. That is definitely not the case here. We can see that a hatchery has been placed down over here at what normally would be the 3rd base. As Lan right now just gathering a whole bunch of Zerglings outside the front door. We'll see this poor larva. A lot of times, even professional players forget that there could be larva here at that hatchery, and they are going to simply lose it. Another drone would be helpful. You know, any way you can try to get back into that game. He's going to lose that production. Poor larva going to jump off, as we now see Zerglings running their way inside. This is a little bit of a dangerous maneuver here, as Lan does not have metabolic boost. Probe's not going to try and engage, and this is a good fight for Lan here, as the Zerglings are going to be able to make their way inside. How many units are there? There is not many, and the probes, after being split, they may actually get taken down here. You can see the number of probes trying to engage. Zealot now coming over to engage as well. The Zealot trying to get off 3 shots onto a single Zergling, as the Zergling still running around in circles, looking to get a good surround on the Zealot. Alright, in comes the probes joining in on the fight. A new Zealot will be coming in. There is the Mothership Core, and with that, any chance of harassment is now out the window, as we see 25 drones versus 25 probes. One poor probe now trying to make its way out. It looks like it will be able to do exactly that, down to 16 hit points, and the probe will simply regenerate all of those shields in just a moment. Back at the base of the Protoss, the mothership core, as you can see, is already on its way out. San has spotted an additional hatchery at the 9 o'clock location, and he may try and make something happen. A proxy pylon or even mothership core should be effective enough, especially considering that queens are going to have a very difficult time getting over to defend this location here. There is no creep on the way to that 9 o'clock position at all. Zerglings will try and defend it against Zealots, but a mothership core can take down enough Zerglings given enough time. They can take down an infinite number of Zerglings given enough time there, as there goes another Zergling. Mothership core making its way over, gonna just start poking away at this hatchery. A queen looks like it wants to make its way over as well, trying to take care and tend to this hatchery. Hatchery is still slowly gaining hit points, as the mothership core, sitting at 117 energy, may be able to recall and head back home if things get a little bit dangerous. Probe now heading back. Warp gate about to be completed. It needs about another 40 seconds or so. The mothership core has arrived. Excuse me, the queen has arrived to shoo away that mothership core, and now Ian is just going to be backing off here. Now, this game has gone pretty much how I expected. The opening and the usage of that backdoor or that pylon wall, excuse me, not pylon wall, pylon with photon cannons to cannon rush essentially your opponent's natural expansion, is a very, very effective strategy. I've seen it very strong players lose to much weaker players just because that strategy was executed so well. Now, Ian is looking to finish off his opponent here, but he has to be really careful. He cannot afford to lose this mothership core. The mothership core is relatively inexpensive to lose, but at the same time, because it has so much energy, you want to keep it around. Back here, mothership core, warp prism now coming in to engage. Is the warp prism going to be able to drop off some sentries? Yes, it will, and it will be warping in more zealots as well. This is a strong engagement here, as the sentries are still going in for a bit of a push. There is some force field and a beautiful play coming across. Drones now coming off the mineral line in order to fight back against all of these sentries. All the sentries have been picked up. One zealot or two zealots are left. One zealot is left off to the north. One zealot back here, and it looks like they will all get taken down. Taking a look at the losses, the Zerg has lost just a bit more, as a beautiful force field catches many drones in a very, very bad way. A lot of drones caught in that force field location. Nicely done, nicely played. All of those drones caught in that little small pocket there. A lot of them took some damage, as we now see the sentries trying to push back against those roaches once more. Meanwhile, the mothership core now putting on pressure at the 9 o'clock location. And this is just very, very small forces that are very difficult to deal with. The warp prism constantly harassing between the main base and the third, very close by air, very, very far by ground, making it very difficult to reinforce. Roaches now finally clean up the pylon and cannons at the natural expansion, but not before the mothership core has pretty much shooed away all the drones from the 9 o'clock location here. With this, it looks like San is not going to bother to expand. He is just macroing up his army, and with a very, very large army of Immortals, Sentries, and Zealots, we saw how effective that can be, especially against a group of short-range units such as Roaches. Those Roaches unable to get past those force fields. The Immortals with a range of 6 able to easily shoot past and take down all of those Roaches there. Immortals, Zealots, Sentries, Stalkers, all over here at what I'll call the 2 o'clock center location. And San looking to establish this expansion before making a move and trying to shut down his opponent completely. This is a very smart move, a very smart play, because if the attack fails, you will not be behind. It will still be 3 bases to 3, and as long as you trade semi-efficiently while you have the lead, things are generally good. 57 probes versus 46 drones, as the roaches are now scampering about to make their way up that ramp. There is a very large welcoming party, though, in all of those immortals, and the roaches decide against walking into a trap. Roaches now making their way across here. Are they going to find their opponent, as level 3 weapons upgrade, I believe, is coming online? Level 3 weapons upgrade has just been started. The probes. Oh, there's a beautiful force field. Stalkers catching a good number of roaches out of position. And there you have it. The roaches now finally turning around to take down a few sentries. A few sentries will go down, but the immortals adding the major DPS in that fight. And it will be 4 immortals, stalkers, sentries, and 1 zealot on the move out across the field. Here you have it. It is going to be able to push his opponent all the way back. The roaches need to hold on to this high ground and perhaps defend against what his opponent has in store for him. Alright, here we have Lon still sitting on 130 supply compared to San's 134, but the upgrade advantage is simply too much. 2-0 upgrades compared to 1-0, and it will be soon 3-2 upgrades. Those immortals will be absolutely devastating, dealing about 65 damage per attack. That is a tremendous amount of damage that roaches already generally have a very difficult time dealing with. That range, their buff being able to mitigate much of the damage that a roach would normally do, seems to always cause tension as the roach player whenever he tries to engage against just a group of immortals. Here we have it. There's the immortals. There's the stalkers. There's the zealots. There's the couple of sentries. Are we going to see a fight here? It looks like we will. But first, taking down the destructible rocks, wanting to make sure that they have easy passage walking in and out of the space, as the zealot now in trouble. Stalkers now looking to engage. There you go. There is the stalkers. There's some force fields. Many of the roaches are unable to battle it, as the Zerglings now coming in from behind. The Zerglings need to get through the zealot in order to win that war, but I don't believe it will be able to. The roaches are simply falling far too quickly. The roaches taking down immortal after immortal. The stalkers, I believe, have blink, but I haven't seen blink play really be used at all. There you have it. There are more roaches, more Zerglings coming in to engage. Sentries are now pretty much out of mana. And with that, Lon says GG, giving a quick 2-0 victory to Azubu's San. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.